My name is Zach, I'm 17, and last month I made over $22,000 from my AI SaaS business. I've also scaled my SaaS LitPile AI to over $20,000 in monthly recurring revenue, and the craziest part about all of this is I still don't know how to code. I've not hired a single developer, and I built this entire business by talking in English to my AI agents. And just to show you guys that this is all completely legit, so far this month I've made over $11,000 from my AI business, which means I'm actually on track to beat last month. Now listen, I know where you are right now. You've probably seen hundreds of YouTube videos talking about how to build an AI automation business, SaaS business, how to work with AI agents. Maybe you've tried experimenting with tools like Lovable or Replit, OpenClaw or Claude Code, but you just haven't figured out how to make money with them yet. And it makes sense. There's not really a definitive full guide out there on how to actually find customers for these businesses. In fact, nowadays with AI no-code tools, it's actually a lot easier to build these businesses and actually get the software running than it is to find customers. But the truth is, customer acquisition is actually not as hard and scary as it seems. There's actually a really simple system to consistently funnel thousands of views towards your software every month and activate hundreds of new subscribers to your software that can generate you thousands of dollars each month in monthly recurring revenue. Now, the reason why I believe SaaS or software as a service beats all the other different types of AI businesses out there is because of one thing, and it's scalability. In AI automation agencies, you actually still have to manually find and fulfill the customers. Even though AI might be doing most of the work and that the AI builds the automations for you and fulfills the actual service, customer acquisition in these businesses is often a lot more difficult. You have to DM thousands of businesses, cold call every local business on Google Maps, and in the end, you still actually have to communicate with these businesses directly. Also, with AI-powered e-commerce businesses like dropshipping or Amazon KDP, you aren't really building monthly recurring revenue because in e-com, you might have one month where you make $100,000, but the next month you might make like 10 because you don't have recurring customers. But in software, your customers come back every month to pay you because they're subscribed to the software and they pay for long periods of time. And if you build a good software, your customers will keep coming back every month and pay you month after month for potentially even years. Now, the way the software business works is very simple. You build a software that solves one particular pain point for your users in a niche audience. You create content about that software, showcasing how it works, posting it in communities, posting it on YouTube, TikTok, and then people with that specific pain point watch that content, visit your software's website, and subscribe. And then as you bring on more and more customers, your recurring revenue will build over time and your income will compound and multiply every single month. So in my case, what I did was I built a software called LitPile AI, and it was a tool that helps self-publishers create books quickly using AI. And it's actually a fairly simple app. A user puts in their prompt for whatever kind of book they're trying to create, and then my AI software on the back end generates the entire book for them in a few minutes using AI, and then the user can take that book, download it, and self-publish it themselves if they'd like. Now, the way I promoted my software was I built a YouTube channel from basically nothing, and over time, I made YouTube videos showcasing my software and how it helped self-publishers publish books quickly, and then hundreds of people joined and started paying for my software every single month, and now I've been able to scale it past $20,000 in monthly recurring revenue. And the truth is, to get to these insanely high revenue numbers, you don't actually need that many users. If you have a software, for example, that charges $29 a month and you have 100 users, you're already at $2,900 in monthly recurring revenue. If you get to 1,000 users, you're at $29,000 in monthly recurring revenue. So as you bring on more users, your income can multiply. And the great thing about this business model is you're not constrained by fulfillment. In other business models like e-commerce, you are constrained by fulfillment because you actually have to manually fulfill for your customers. In agency, you still have to communicate and provide tailored services to each individual client and customer. But in software, the fulfillment is actually handled entirely by software, which means you don't have to manually fulfill anything. So because of that, fulfillment is entirely automated and you can focus all your energy on improving your software and getting more paying users, which means your software can snowball down a hill where it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and you bring on more users until you stack so many users that your monthly recurring revenue gets so high, you can then exit that company for 3 to 5 times your annual recurring revenue. And just to show you guys how powerful this is, if we take my business, LitPile AI, and we say my annual recurring revenue right now is $240,000 a year, and I multiply that times 5, that means hypothetically, I could actually exit this business for $1.2 million. And just keep in mind that I literally relaunched this business from zero in August of last year. So over the past few months, I've literally built a potentially $1 million asset without having to build anything physically, without having to chase customers. I literally just built the software, made YouTube content about it, stacked users, and now I make about $20,000 a month from it on the internet. And the craziest part about all this is that I'm not the only one doing it. There are literally thousands of people out there today building SaaS businesses with AI, making content about them, stacking users, and literally making hundreds of thousands of dollars doing this. All right, so now that you get the gist of the real power behind this business, how it structurally works, and really how anybody can actually start this nowadays, I want to tell you guys my real story on how I actually got here, how I went from basically nothing to now making over $20,000 a month from AI software. And I hope my story can kind of inspire some of you guys to just take action on your own. So anyways, it all started a little bit over a year ago. And at the time, I was all in on a business model called Amazon KDP. And the way I was building my Amazon business was by self-publishing AI written books that I made myself using AI through the Amazon KDP publishing program, where it allows anybody to upload PDF files of books to Amazon and then sell them print on demand to people around the world. And what I was doing was I was designing these books in softwares like Canva and ChatGPT, publishing them to KDP, and building a pretty good side hustle from Amazon KDP. But there was always one big problem I kept running into, and it was that the process for creating these AI books was incredibly slow. I was juggling like a dozen different softwares: Canva, Midjourney, ChatGPT, Leonardo AI, Bookbeam, and a whole bunch of different softwares all at once just to create a single book. And the books that I was creating weren't even that great, but they did sell. And sometimes it would take me hours and even days to just create a single book with AI. And I was always thinking to myself how great it would be if someone built a tool that could generate entire books with AI just from simple text prompts. And that's exactly why I built LitPal AI. I had a pain point that I was actively experiencing as a self-publisher, and I actually built this tool for myself originally just to help me publish books quicker. And then I had the idea to turn this into a full-blown SaaS web app, create content about it, and actually get other self-publishers to use it as well. And so about a year ago, during spring break of 2025, I was off from school and I spent the entire week building the first version of my software, LitPal AI. I literally did not leave my house. I was spending 6 to 8 hours a day behind the computer for like a week straight just building out the first version of the software. And after about a week, maybe 10 days, I got the software out and I started showing it to people who were also in the self-publishing space. Then over the next few months, I started making content on my other YouTube channel about KDP and self-publishing and how people could actually use my software to help them publish books quicker. And in the beginning, I started off with basically no audience. I barely had any subscribers on YouTube, almost no history. And so just by posting consistently, over time, I was actually able to bring customers to my software through my content. And I got up to about $1,000 in monthly recurring revenue in my first couple of months. But then I decided to burn it all down. In late July, I decided I needed to rebuild the entire software to make it better and relaunch the software so I could make the experience better for my users. And on August 4th, 2025, I relaunched my software from zero, kicked off all my previous users. Some of them came back, some of them didn't, and I completely rebuilt and relaunched my software, LitPal AI. And in the time period from August 4th to February 2nd, 2026, I scaled my software from $0 in monthly recurring revenue to over $10,000 in monthly recurring revenue in a time span of only about 6 months. And the craziest part about all of this is I literally documented almost the entire process on this YouTube channel, Zach Sells AI, where I made daily videos going through exactly what I was doing in my business to scale it and get more users. Literally almost every single day before I went to sleep, I would record a video talking about what I did in the day to push my business forward. I would stand in front of a whiteboard, go over my daily revenue and what I was working on, and literally I documented the entire process of building an app from almost zero to over $10,000 in monthly recurring revenue. So if you guys want to learn more about the software business and you want to learn how to actually build these kinds of businesses from the ground up, I'll actually leave my school link, the 10K MRR Blueprint, as the top link in the description. Inside there, I teach you guys exactly how to build software businesses from scratch without coding. But anyways, I'll see you guys there.